Salutations to all of you. We shall do a small experiment today using our right index finger pointing towards our brain. Index finger shows this as our brain. Similarly, using the same index finger pointing towards our mind, the hand and finger moves near our head and stays from the distance without showing where the mind is. It means to say that brain and mind are two different and distinctive entities. Brain is a physical entity, whereas the mind is a metaphysical entity. Though we use the term brain and mind interchangeably to mean the same, it is not so. The mind is outside the brain, includes the brain. Most of us think that our mind is within our brain. We shall discuss in detail these aspects related to brain and mind in the forthcoming discussions. From ancient civilization, it is Egyptian civilization, and the periods of Sumerians, we as human beings depend on others in some way or the other. The pain and the miseries of a person cannot be solved and or redressed from outside elements, though the outside elements or persons can only pacify, can only give some aiding help. They are not the instrumental factors to take away the pain and miseries of a person. The misery of a person, pain of a person, tribulations of a person, all these things need to be addressed by the respective person himself or herself. The task is ultimately his own responsibility to readdress. It is not the outside element which helps the person. How this individual pain and miseries can be removed? We have to identify ourselves first. Our house need to be kept in order. Here, house refers to our own self. To see our own self, there should be some mirror. The mirror here refers to the relationship of the individual person with his own self. First, he has to establish his relationship with his own self, then with his kith and kin, later towards the society. In order to see one's self, as I have already told, there should be some mirror. That mirror should be very plain one, and it should not be distorted. It should not be a concave mirror or a convex mirror where there are distortions. Mean to say that mirror has to be very clear and plain so that it reflects the image of a person as he is. When we look into the mirror, look through the mirror, we will know what we are. In other words, that mirror which is reflecting our image shows what I am or what we are. It never shows that what I should be or what we should be. Sometimes we go with the image of the mirror reflected. Sometimes we may dispute our own image which is appeared through the mirror. When we turn away from the mirror, saying that it is not my image, it is not my persona, then churning within ourselves need to take place. This churning aspects takes the shape of several questions arising within our own self. The questions are: what is thinking? What is my thought? What is my brain? Whether the thought is the material process. What is mind? In what way mind is connected with the brain? Whether I have got any limitations, whether my brain is programmed, whether there is necessity, need to reprogramming the brain. When the mind establishes contact with the brain, these are the questions which springs out of the churning process of a person when he turns away from the mirror. We will look into the details now. The reflections of the conversations that took place between the speaker and the master have tantamounted to the contents of today's topic, to be ever free. The views expressed over here, the insights of the master, and the perspective of the speaker may vary from the viewpoint of the viewers. Viewers, however, can exercise their own discretion as to accept the views or reject the same. We will start now to answer the questions. What is thinking at the outset? Thinking is a reaction or response to our own memories. Without memories, there won't be thinking. Based on these memories, knowledge, the brain cells have. The scientists, the experts, archaeologists, geologists, astrophysicists, and various persons in the field of physics, chemistry, and biology explore, investigate, and pursue thought by thought to arrive at a conclusion. When they are not able to arrive at a conclusion, a logical end or scientific solution, they employ their revised thoughts, keeping the original thoughts at bay, or they can use those thoughts for improving the present thoughts. Similarly, thought process is same even to a common man. Common man will also employ these thoughts to arrive at a conclusion. If he is not able to arrive at a conclusion, a decision, a formulation, he keeps on thinking, exploring, thought by thought. So, with this we have understood thought is a material process. In between the man and the thought, there is one which is influential, is brain. The brain cells have enormous knowledge, memory. Though our brain is a biological product we get along with the body, brain is evolved through time. For this, we can take to the recourse of the advancement in technology and space science. Owing to the phenomenal utility of the brains outwardly towards technology, we have advanced so much. Whereas, when we take into consideration as an individual, we have not advanced so much. Why? What is the reason? Why we are not advanced inwardly, whereas our brains have evolved exponentially outwardly in technology and various fields? The reason are on two counts. We have conditioned our enormous knowledge memory of our brains. Brains have not been put into proper use by human beings. Though outwardly, we, as experts in some fields, explore ourselves to study the psyche in others, we fail to study the psyche, the phenomena of the self in our own self. In our own beings, we fail to study, whereas we explore in studying the psyche in so many species, animals, and other things. What is the lacuna in this? The lacuna being the conditioned aspect of the brain. We have created our own pattern for our brain. We limited its utility. We limited its advantages. We wired the brains. So, the resultant effect is our brains have been wounded. In the sense, it has been limited. The primary reasons of limitation or conditioning of brain being the environment we live, the religious backgrounds we have, the religious dogmas we follow, and the food we eat, and so many other reasons. With specific viewpoints, man has so many important reasons for conditioning of his own brain. What are those? Man is having his own ego factors, me factors, and self prestige, false prestige. I am so and so, I am this, I am that. I can do many things. Nobody can beat me. I am so instrumental. I am indispensable. I can only do this work, whereas others cannot do it. I am powerful. I am rich. I am knowledgeable. I am spiritually advanced. I am enlightened, so on and so forth. These elements man is having as such. The brain cells are conditioned. Brains are limited, and it is not allowed to explore for higher purposes of human being. These are the limited factors which has created a blockage in the brain so as to prevent the man to explore, to know himself and explore his talent and give the talent, show the talent and provide the talent, serve the people through his talent with unutilized the knowledge of the brain cells. So for this, what is the reason, what is the recourse for addressing this limitation or conditioning of the brain? We will examine it in detail. Coming back to the mirror of self, which I was mentioning in the earlier part of discussion, and I was also mentioning there, in the event of a person who denies his image when he looks through the mirror, it infers that he has a different pattern. The pattern which is shown in the mirror is not a vivid pattern. It is a pattern comprises of conditions. His brain has been wired. His brain has been wounded with limitations. It has not been allowed to explore exponentially. When he realizes that he has a different pattern and he would like to see his vivid image through his mirror, then realization for sure has taken place in that person. Deconditioning of the brain slowly or gradually takes place. its limitations will be removed, and he will explore to use his brain to the optimum level for the upliftment of his own self. Since brain cells are enormous and it has got unlimited knowledge and memory, when this degeneration stops, conditioning stops, limitation stops, it rises to its original nature of abundance. In that circumstance, in that event, the mind will come and establishes contact with the brain. When deconditioning takes place in the brain cells, the abundancy has taken its place. Then mind, which is intelligence, which is eternal, which is metaphysical, establishes complete relationship with the brain. Then brain and mind will be synonymous. It is identified as one entity. When conditioning of the brain is removed. When this is established, the person who strives himself to decondition or reprogram his brain, his enormous capability will increase, his decisions and his motives and his efforts, choices will change altogether, and a new pattern will come in place and will rise to the unlimited capabilities of the brain as well as the eternal mind. When a person is out of this menace, this conditioning aspect, pattern, he is totally freed. He is totally freed from his own limited or wounded aspects of the brain. Now he is completely unlimited, holistic. He is in tune with his heart, which is the eternal mind, which has come into contact with the unconditioned brain. So, brain and mind, even though we use it as same and use it interchangeably, become the same entity when the brain is completely unconditioned. Mind and brain will be synonym, will be performing the same thought process, and it rises to its great exponential utility when we are able to free from all the limited things and conditioned things. With this, we will conclude today's discussion, and in the ensuing episode, we will come up with new subjects. Till then, let me salute you once again.